Hello and welcome, fellow dreamers, to a new episode of What's Playing Tonight. My name is Ty, and I hardly ever remember any of my dreams. I'm here with a certain silver-eyed wolf. Introduce yourself and tell me, do you remember your dreams?
I'm Nate, and at times I do remember my dreams. They're usually me on a rope bridge falling, so yeah, that's great.
I'm also joined by the Lime Knight in the Limelight. Introduce yourself, and same question.
What is going on, everybody? It's Raceland. I remember most of my dreams, but then I forget them immediately as soon as I wake up.
Then does that even count as remembering them?
No, so like I remember my dreams, but then like by like an hour, I already forgot it.
Okay, so not immediately, an hour.
Okay, sure.
Well, let's see how your memory fares in regards to other things. What have you been watching this week, Raceland?
But basically the same as last week. I just been catching up on Dragon Ball Super again, doing the rewatch, and started Miss Marvel. I'm not gonna get into my opinions about that because it would take too long. But yeah, I started that up.
And Nate, same question.
I've been watching The Boys on Amazon Prime. Yeah,
Forgot about that.
It's pretty fun so far. I'm liking this season. Also watched the new Rescue Rangers movie. Finally.
Nice. That is a great movie.
Yeah,
good movie.
I can definitely see why people thought I would like it, considering my love of Roger Rabbit movie.
Question about The Boys. Is it one of those weekly things, or is it a drop it all at once?
It's one of the weekly. Every Friday, a new episode comes out.
I thought Amazon Prime.
I think they have 4 episodes.
I thought Prime was a drop it all at once kind of thing.
Usually it is, but I think with the pandemic and everything, they've been kind of going towards releasing it weekly.
Taking the Netflix approach, huh?
Also watched The Boys Diabolical, which is the cartoon anthology of The Boys, which just tells random stories in their universe, which I thought was really good. Does leave some interesting doors open if they decide to incorporate into the main series. I think that's about it really for what I've been watching lately, though.
Well, thank you for asking. I've been watching things too, and I'm still keeping up with Obi-Wan. I did watch the first episode of Ms. Marvel, and I have no problems with it so far. I understand that the power thing is a bit of a controversy, but I mean, the MCU is pretty notorious for changing things from the comics. Bucky was a grown man in Captain America, the First Avenger, instead of Robin.
A child soldier?
Yeah, a child soldier, Jesus. And,
yeah, but they didn't change Bucky's entire origin story and foundation of who he is.
Well, to fit
the MCU.
You see, the problem is that they hate the Inhumans now.
They got Quake.
Who?
Quake
from the Shield series.
Is that canon?
I don't think so.
Well, it's been like hesitated that it is, but it,
when it was running, they did kind of keep the show along the same with the MCU, but eventually they just think gave up.
And speaking of the Inhumans, I mean, this is kind of spoilers for Multiverse of Madness, but that's been out for like a month.
Hold on now.
I have not seen it, actually.
Hold on now. We'll save that for another time.
Oh, okay.
What else have I been watching? I did not get to watch this week's episode of The Boys yet.
I haven't even started it.
No, I don't think I've watched. Just the Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah, I keep up with Obi-Wan as well.
Yeah, I'm still having a good time watching Obi-Wan.
Me too, unsurprisingly.
Well, games. Anybody been playing some games?
I started Ultimate Alliance on my channel. Love that game.
I've been playing Expedition Vikings, which is kind of like an XCOM style game, but set in the Viking times.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So do you get to like create your own characters and stuff?
So you get to create your character, which is the new leader of your clan. And then you can recruit your friends from your clan. I think eventually it's stated that you can create other characters. So like when I go recruit mercenaries, I should be able to create other characters, but I haven't gotten to that point yet.
I've been playing. I've just been messing around with a lot of the stuff on Game Pass. # not sponsored, but the thing I played a little bit of Jurassic World Evolution.
Okay.
I like to build my own dinosaur park.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Get prepared for that movie. Get prepared for that movie.
How did your wife like the movie?
She said it was okay. She said it was better than the second one, which is not hard to do.
Okay.
Now, when you say the second
Jurassic
one,
World 2.
Okay, I was gonna say, you know, it's funny. A lot of this Jurassic Park sequels get a lot of hate, but I've enjoyed almost every single one of them. I think it's just like dinosaurs.
Put it this way: I'd rather rewatch Jurassic Park 3 with the talking dinosaur dream scene than rewatch any part of Jurassic World 2.
I just finished watching that with my family 2 days ago.
You know, it's weird. I think Jurassic Park 3 might be my least favorite, but even I would still rewatch it, though.
Yeah, it was fine. I'll say that the little boy in that movie is a genius at survival.
No kidding.
Yeah,
didn't he take T-Rex pee to ward off other dinosaurs?
That's what he claimed.
This is T-Rex pee?
Yeah.
How'd you get it? You don't want to know.
Yeah.
I've seen it way too many times.
He uses smoke grenades, and that's pretty much the only tool he uses.
Jurassic Park 3 sucks. It's so
better
dumb.
Than Jurassic
Jurassic
World 2 is stupid, though.
You know why I don't like Jurassic Park 3? Because the T-Rex should have beat the Spinosaurus. You don't do that.
He did get immediately curb stomped.
It was like a slap in the face to every Jurassic Park fan.
I thought in Jurassic Park 3 it wasn't a T-Rex, wasn't it like an Allosaurus or something like that? Technically,
there were a couple of Carnosaurs, but there's specifically a pretty big fight between
pretty early on when they landed.
Yeah, between the Spinosaur and the T-Rex, and the T-Rex loses, and it made me sad.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a very long time.
Not only does it lose, he immediately clamps on the back of his neck, snaps his neck, throws him on the ground, and then puts his foot on his neck. Yeah.
Honestly, for me, it was kind of a nightmare. Kind of like in this week's movie, 1984's A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh boy.
So let's just get into it a little bit. A Nightmare on Elm Street is, a 1984 American supernatural slasher film written and directed by Wes Craven and produced by Robert Shea. It is the first installment of the A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and it stars Heather Langenkamp as Nancy, John Saxon as her father. Oh, I should really scroll down to the cast. Johnny Depp as Glenn, Ronnie Blakely as Marge, Nancy's mom, Amanda Weiss as Christina Tina Gray, and my boy Nick Corey as Rod Lane. Oh, and I guess Robert Englund as Freddy or Fred Krueger.
Yeah, just that minor character.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting when I started out the movie and it said, and introducing Johnny Depp. And I was like, whoa.
Actually, this was Johnny Depp's very first movie.
Really?
Yep.
It was almost unrecognizable because he was so young. I was like, is that Johnny Depp?
See, I recognized him, but because I've watched a lot of his films when he was younger, but I, for the longest time, thought Crybaby was his first movie. But learning that this was his first movie, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
I just put something together. It's kind of hilarious now that I think about it. Johnny Depp starred in Freddy Krueger, and then later on became Edward Scissorhands, who is very similar to Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Looks-wise.
Yeah. I could see that.
He has 2 hands, though.
He's got 2 hands, though. So, in this movie, these kids in Elm Street, Springwood, Ohio, I want to say Springwood, Ohio. We're going to say Springwood, Ohio. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that.
They will.
They start having these dreams about this horribly scarred man who wears a glove with knives on it. And it turns out if you die in the dream, you die for real.
Yes, sir.
And they have to try to survive.
Which they seem to be horrible at.
Yeah. I as far as slashers go, I really do think that, you can run away from Michael Myers. You can leave Crystal Lake and get away from Jason. But I feel like when Freddy has you in his sights, that's almost always a guaranteed death.
Yeah, the dream realm is kind of hard to run away from. So,
what did you guys think of the movie?
Raceland, would you like to take the first shot?
Sure. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to just say I am not a slasher guy. I don't like horror type movies that often. So when Ty picked this one, I was like, oh boy, here we go. We're going into the realm of the unknown for me because I'm not into these. It's okay. Like, for being what it is, it's an old slasher movie. It's extremely predictable. You just know what's going to happen around every corner, that kind of stuff. I'll get more into it later when we start breaking it down.
Yeah, when we do our final thoughts. Nate, what are your initial?
I would say that's a fair assessment. I was kind of bored, actually.
I can see that. Me too.
First off, I went into this under the wrong impression, so that's fully on my part or my fault, because I thought this was going to kind of like start out explaining Freddy's circumstances.
Yeah, they didn't get into that at all.
Well, they do, like, near the half end of the movie.
Barely.
Yeah, like a quick talk.
Like, oh yeah, by the way, this is why.
Yeah. I went in expecting a little bit more detail on him. Also, like, I've just thought his kills would be a little bit more imaginative. Everything I've heard about Freddy, after watching, I was like, that's all he does, because one kill is a slash on the gut, and then spins her and knocks her boyfriend out. Or not out, but to the side.
So
then
I have a question about that, actually.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, like, I get the whole you get killed in your dream, you die in real life thing. So what was with the, like, she could go, like, up on the walls and up to the ceilings and all that stuff? What was that all about?
And the way it kind of works is that he has certain degree of control over the surroundings of the real world, because also with Rod's death, he was able to actually, like, hang him with the sheet.
The sheet of the bed.
The sheet of the bed, which I don't think prisons actually have sheets on beds for that reason.
Exactly reason why.
Yeah, talking to some people I know, they said no.
Yeah. So you have to be asleep for him to get you, but he kind of uses the real world also. And to your point, Nate, about the kills not being very imaginative, that is something that they continue to develop more as the movies go along. They were still kind of trying to figure out, like, they weren't thinking big enough with this first one. I think this movie's great. But I will admit that the sequels do go harder on, like, the dream stuff and themed kills and stuff like that.
Kind of hone their craft.
Yes.
Another thing is, I was, like Nate said, I didn't know what to expect when I went into this movie. And with the slasher genre, the only thing I ever know is more modern slasher movies, which are, like, insanely gory and bloody and crazy. And I went into this like, oh, this is very tame. Like, Obviously, it came out in 1982, but still.
1984.
84.
But, a lot of people will say, like, it's weird how much trouble we gave I say we, but I mean, like, society gave trouble, like, to slashers in the 80s, because compared to some of the stuff that is made nowadays, a lot of these movies were pretty tame, like, relatively.
Yeah. Same could be said with video games, too. Like,
look at Mortal Kombat. Look how gory and bloody that is.
Yeah.
This is Doom, very tame compared to that.
Like 2016 Doom is more gory than any horror movie I've ever seen.
That is true.
There's definitely, like, if people from the past were to come to the future, they would be simply horrified.
They would.
They'd be like, you allowed this on the television?
Oh, yeah. Like, rating systems have definitely altered.
And to your other point about how they don't really touch on his origins too much in this movie, that is also something that they further develop in the sequels. But I kind of like how we don't know anything about Freddy at first, because
in the beginning he just kind of targets teens and just kills them willy-nilly for no reason.
Yeah, he's just this guy. It has like an urban legend vibe to it.
Yeah.
At first, where it's like, oh, this guy, we've been seeing this guy in our dreams. Hey, have you heard about the guy that people have been seeing in the dreams? And of course, there is an explanation for who he is and what happened to it. And it's funny. It is just a couple of lines in this movie. But they do flesh that out a little bit more. And then they flesh it out even more, I think, to the detriment in some of the sequels. Actually, there was a TV series called Freddy's Nightmares. It was kind of like a Tales from the Crypt anthology series, but with Freddy introducing each episode.
Okay.
And then sometimes the episodes would have Freddy in them. And the very first episode of the series, you get to see the trial and the parents tracking him down, and it's not great because it's done on a TV budget versus like film budget, but it's interesting. So like the Freddy lore is out there.
I know there's lots of fans of Freddy. Like, people love Freddy.
Like, I knew the Freddy lore, which is kind of why I went into this thinking they were going to explain the Freddy lore. Because, like, well, obviously they would, like, the lore came from somewhere. It would start from the beginning. Which, again, is my fault. I kind of cheated away and kind of got my hopes up in that regard. Overall, another one of the things that kind of let me down on it is, like, I've read several comics that have Freddy in them. I've seen movies with him in it, and he's always had a really good dark humor. Yes. I did not really get that sense in this, and he didn't really seem all that funny other than him chuckling a lot.
He likes to laugh. He has great glee in what he's doing, but absolutely, we will not get. People call him MTV's Freddy until like the third movie onward. That's when the one-liners start happening, and that's when. And I love that shit too. I pretty much like every movie in this franchise except for the remake.
The only other one I've actually seen.
Actually, that's a good question, Raceland. How did this hold up next to the remake?
I don't even remember the remake. I saw that so long ago, and like I said, I was at one of those, like, I think I took my now wife on our first date there.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember. I just remember, like, I don't remember the movie that much because it was a genre I did not care about, and I was too focused on the date.
Understandable.
Fair enough. Yeah. But you did remember Tina's name, so it seems like you have a better memory.
You have a one-up on me.
Yeah, you have a one-up on the other.
I have a little note about Tina.
All right, let's get into your complaints. Let's go.
Say they're all complaints. They might be, though.
They might be. Yeah. Let's get into it.
Speaking of Tina, okay, so I don't know about you. This is a trope that I see with all slasher movies. If I hear a creepy voice calling you outside, I'm not going to just go out there with no weapon or no nothing, especially when you just had a dream about somebody murdering you, and then you hear his voice being like, Tina, Tina.
I actually...
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Well, let me stop you right there, Raceland. Is that she was still dreaming?
Yeah.
Oh, she was at
Yes.
that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's,
but still, even in the dream, even if it was a dream,
doesn't
I was
matter.
still.
Freddy was going to come and get her whether she walked outside or not. Like,
counterpoint, Raceland. Next time you dream, I want you to stop what you're doing and just turn around.
I could.
Like, force yourself to turn around in your dream. I don't think you have mastered that technique yet.
you're not the
Dream
dream
walking.
master.
I could be dream walking.
I don't think you know how to.
Well, then that brings me to my other point was a whole like, why follow the creepy blood and voices? But if you're saying that you can't control what you do in your dream, then all right.
Well,
It's not that you can't. It's that she doesn't know how to because she's a normal person who probably hasn't studied that kind of thing. Like, a normal person's just going to dream. And a lot of times you probably don't even know you're in a dream.
as far as the characters in the movie go, Nancy has the most control over what she can do in her dream. And that is something that comes up later in a sequel.
Which is kind of funny because Glenn, her boyfriend, is the one who talks about the dreaming, like how to gain skills from your dreams and all this. And I'm like, yeah, you can't do anything really.
Can we, guys, Glenn sucks.
Yeah,
He's the most
does.
unreliable boyfriend in a movie that I think
True
I've
that.
ever seen.
That's Johnny Depp's character,
That's
right?
Johnny Depp's
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Like,
All I need you to do is not fall asleep.
Yes.
Glenn! Like, come on.
Like, come on. Like, he really let her down more than once.
every single time.
Don't worry, Nancy. I'll be there at 12. I promise. Falls asleep. But come on, man.
I kind of wonder if maybe he had narcolepsy and just was not diagnosed.
I don't know, but he also got like one of the most brutal kills, I think.
Oh, I was gonna say that. He got royally destroyed.
See, I kind of felt he got off pretty easy because we don't actually see him die. We just see the effects of his death, which is just the fountain of blood.
I mean,
Like,
it looks like he put him through like a blender or something.
yeah, that's what I'm like. Mentally, we can imagine the most horrific thing, which I would probably say makes his death the most imaginative of all the deaths because it makes us imagine his death. But in reality, they don't even show him die. They just show him getting sucked into a hole and then a fountain of blood come out.
What is
as far as we know, he could have been killed instantly.
While we're talking about the kills, let's go around and which kill was everybody's favorite? Raceland, you start.
Oh boy. Well, Tina's was just slashed to the chest, and then she got like flown around in the ceiling and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, she was a human ceiling fan.
Okay, so then the other one was just strangulation.
Yeah.
Then there was the fountain of blood. Wasn't there a fourth one?
Her mom, kind of.
Oh yeah, with the burning alive thing.
Oh, well, her mom dies twice then, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I have something later on about that, but we'll save that for later.
All right, we'll say the burning alive then, yeah.
So, I guess the blender one because it was the most imaginative.
Nate?
Same here.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Glenn's death.
So I think you guys are talking shit, and I'm here to defend this movie a little bit because
I do have one thing to say real quick.
I think Tina's death is really effective.
I mean, definitely shows like what Freddy can do.
Like the fact that you're seeing it from like the real world perspective, and also just her performance while it's going on, and like how it sets everything into motion. I think Tina's death is great. That said, I do have to give it to Glenn because that from blood is just amazing.
Yeah. So does everybody agree that Rod's death is the least?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Dude, Rod is such a forgettable character. I kind of forgot he was even in the movie.
Like,
I liked Rod. Yeah. Like he comes off. Jesus Christ! I can't believe I'm about to say this, but he's the Danny Zuko of the movie, where he acts like a tough guy, but he's actually really soft and sweet on the inside.
See, I didn't
Dude,
get
that
the soft and sweet aspect at
no.
all.
When they first introduced that character, he was the biggest douchebag I've ever seen in my life. Like, he's just like, yo, we gonna go upstairs and gonna do this or not?
No, but I
Well-
think he really does care about
Yeah,
Tina.
I do think he does care about her. But there is a difference between like being sweet and soft on the inside and caring about someone. You don't have to be sweet and soft to care.
Fair enough.
I will say
It could have been literally just like, well, if Tina dies, then I can't get any more.
I don't think that's where
I don't
his
think
head
that's-
was. Hey, Danny Zuko. Yeah, you know, I care
I do-
about you.
I do oh my god, that's such a horrible Danny Zuko, but I do agree that he genuinely liked Tina. My problem with his death is that he died almost instantly. Like he was hung by the bed sheets,
Mhm.
and usually the thing that kills someone when they're being hung is their neck breaking from the fall of the kill. But he wasn't dropped from a height, he was dragged up the wall, and like they got to him almost immediately when
He
was
should not have been dead.
Yeah,
Didn't Freddy snap his neck?
they didn't show that, or they didn't even imply it. They just showed him being dragged up the wall with the thing, and then as he's doing, he's like breathing, trying to breathe, and then he just kind of dies.
Yeah.
So I know you
so-
guys.
When he died, I actually thought like, oh, they got to him. He's gonna be okay. And then like, he's dead. I'm like, what? How?
He's dead, Jim.
Yeah.
So
if
like,
he
I know
died by asphyxiation, that was way too quick.
So, like, I know you guys. I understand that, like, coming at this from a lens of 2022, maybe the deaths are not that imaginative. But you got to remember, like, in 1984, seeing people lift into the air and spin around on the ceiling, and the ropes moving on its own, and like
Tina's death was creative, especially for that time.
Mhm.
Like it gave me straight Exorcist vibes.
I suppose The Exorcist did do it first 10 years earlier.
But Rod's death was just like it was just a wrap around the neck and then a pull and insta death. Like it almost felt like oh, we need to kill this character off. Let's do that. Let's just get it out of the way, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which that is how these slashers. A lot of the times you are kind of just watching a list of people like waiting in line to die, sort of.
Yeah.
Can we agree that Rod is better than Glenn?
Yes, definitely. He is a better boyfriend because he genuinely cared about Tina, like trying to be there for her.
Yeah.
Like,
and he was, when she died, he was just like, I gotta find out who did this. I gotta figure out what's going on.
And Glenn's just like, babe, just turn your back on it. It's okay. You'll be fine. Like, I'm gonna take a nap over here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take another nap over here.
Yeah.
Don't worry, babe. I'll definitely be there at 12.
Okay, so here's a fun question. Did it surprise any of you when Tina was the first person to die?
So, right off the bat, no. When I started the movie, not knowing anything about this movie, Tina had the first dream about Freddy. I'm like, oh, Tina's the main character.
Exactly.
And then dies. I was like, oh, okay, not the main character. Okay.
Okay.
It's the bait and switch.
Yeah, definitely got me. Definitely got me.
It didn't get me. I guess because of like what a scary movie.
Never seen that.
I think it's what was the one with Drew Barrymore? Is that Scream?
Scream, yeah.
Yeah. I think those two movies kind of made me pessimistic in that regard. Like I saw her and I was immediately like, oh, she's probably gonna die quick.
It's funny because Scream was also directed by Wes Craven, and it's just another pick from the Wes Craven playbook.
Nice.
Make you think you're following a main character, and boom, it's actually not the main character at all.
Well, because of him, I did not think she was the main character.
So speaking of Tina, this brings me to another point, but I think it's already been answered. When was it Nancy sees Tina's dead body in the bag and all that stuff, she's just like, Tina, and then just follows her, and I'm just like, it's not Tina, obviously. Even when the like, where's your hall pass? And then it's like, you need a hall pass with the glove.
Again, that's a dream.
That's a dream.
Yeah, I know it is. Like I said, it's been answered already. But it's just like when I was watching it, I'm like, Don't be stupid.
Another thing that I just in my head clicked is that Tina is blonde, and because of Scary Movie and Scream, I don't see blondes as the main female leads in scary movies most of the time. They usually are the ones to die first.
That's
and then
okay,
it's the
Nate.
brunette that
Wow.
becomes
Way to just label somebody, man.
I mean, it's from the movies that I've seen, that is what happens.
Well, when we expand your repertoire, we'll get rid of those preconceived notions.
Well, my next pick actually for 2 weeks away will go against that, but
Fair enough.
I think it was meant to.
That's another time.
That's another time and place. Let's talk about this theory that Nate has.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I had a theory that at the end,
Prepared.
So Nancy and all of them, obviously, at the end of the movie is a dream because the car. I thought.
Hold on. I love the Freddy car.
Yeah.
You see, that's some of the stuff that you would see like in the sequels, like the Freddy car. He's such a shit. I love that.
That's what I expected through the movie because I saw him like messing with him, slamming the top down, rolling the windows. I'm like, okay, so this is Freddy. And then I noticed I had like 2 minutes left in the movie. I'm like, oh,
it's like Freddy had to take that whole movie to get comfortable with who he actually was, like a jokester and stuff. Of course, the next movie, none of that. It's the most menacing Freddy in the whole series. But anyway, let's go on.
So real quick, that was one of my points. Was like, what the hell was that ending? That was one of my main points.
It's got to be a dream because Freddy's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will admit that I kind of altered my theory after watching a video of alternate endings because the guy who did the video talked about it a bit. But when he kills the mom and at the end of it, like pulls her through the door window thing, it kind of makes me think that maybe the dream isn't Nancy's. Like, because he pulled the mom into the dream world or whatever, that is the mom's dream.
But the same thing.
But isn't the mom dead because she burned alive?
Well, yes and maybe no, because that could have been a part of her dream.
This is so freaking confusing to me.
Yep. So here's a fun thing.
Okay.
It seems to me, and they get more into this in the sequels, that when you are dreaming and someone else is dreaming, your dreams are kind of in the same dream world, like together. In
like
this,
a dream hub.
like in these franchises, it's like a dream hub. It's like a dream. Like when you sleep, you go into the dream realm in this series.
Yeah, kind of like heaven and Supernatural. Everybody has their own
just
thing,
gonna bring that
but
up.
it's connected.
Yes, exactly. And that's why, like, say if the three of us were sleeping just over there, I guess, and we were dreaming and Freddy showed up, we could all team up against Freddy together. You know what I mean? That's kind of how the dream logic works in this movie. But also, because Nancy, I don't know if Nancy's mom died the first time or if she actually died the second time.
Yeah.
No question. Speaking of the ending scene with the crazy dream, did anybody think maybe this was like a spitball? That was you're saying? Oh, it could have been somebody else's dream. Anybody thought maybe it could have been the dad's? Because earlier in the movie, when Nancy was like going crazy and was like, I know who it was. It was a man with the sweater, with the glove and the hat. Like the dad's facial expression was like, oh my god! Like it made it look like I thought for a second he had the same dream about Freddy.
No, the reason he had that reaction is because
he knows
all of the Elm Street parents ganged up to burn Freddy alive.
Okay, so he just knows him from
because
okay.
Yes.
Because in my head I thought maybe he's had the dream of Freddy.
So, from my understanding of what we saw in the movie was whoever's dream it is will be present in that dream. So, like if it's Tina's dream, it's going to show Tina in the dream. The dad was never shown in the last dream.
Okay. to that thought. So Tina shows up after she dies because Freddy is kind of using her to fuck with Nancy.
Like
so then
dream puppet.
maybe Nancy's mom at the end of the movie wasn't even Nancy's mom. Maybe it was Freddy messing with Nancy again.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I think what the movie was going for. My theory was just purely my theory. It was really based on nothing.
Actually,
go off of it.
You know, the more I think about it, I think it is Nancy's dream at the end because isn't Glenn alive and Tina's back and
everything's basically alive before all of that happened.
Yeah. So I think unfortunately it is Nancy's dream, but don't worry, she survived because she comes back in another movie.
Okay, that was one of my questions. Like, I guess everybody in the movie died.
Nope, not Nancy.
Okay.
He just so there was a book series I read a long time ago. I can't remember what it was called, but one of the things they talked about was how to best torture someone.
Okay.
And
light reading.
Yeah, light reading. You know, the kind of thing you do over the weekend.
Yeah.
So in it they talked about all these horrific things that they would torture people in hell with, and they're like, well, the best way to do that is to first give them a glimpse of what they want, their desire. Because the best thing to torture someone is giving them hope and then taking it away. So I think that's kind of what that last dream was, is that he gave her everything she wanted. None of all that stuff happened. Her hair was back to being just brown. And then takes it away.
I love the line, speaking of that, where she's like, oh my God, I look 20 years old. Heather Langenkamp was actually 20 years old when they filmed this movie.
And
that's funny.
That hits on one of the points that I was kind of shocked about, was their age in this movie.
Were they 15?
Yeah. I did not think they were that young in this movie, especially after them doing a sex scene. I'm like,
I was just gonna bring that up.
That's not cool. I don't know.
Well,
hey, this is the 80s. It's
to be fair, they were all 20, and I think Rod looks about 30, to be honest. So
that's like, looks wise, they did not look. The only reason I even know that they're around 15 is because of that news thing they did where they're like, 15-year-old Tina Gray died in her home. I'm like, wait, she was 15?
Yeah, that caught me off guard.
I thought they were like 18 or 19 or something.
No.
Well, they're in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
19-year-olds don't normally go to high school.
But it's fine.
I graduated when I was 20.
All the actors were above age, so there's no weird shit here.
Just a little Stephen King fuckery, I guess.
No, don't worry about that.
So I'm gonna bring up. It brings me to my next point. Talking about how you said that all the parents ganged up to take down Freddy back in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then why is it when all the killings start happening, by like the third teenager who's dead, why does everybody just in the town just seem normal and unaffected that there's people dying in the town?
Denial.
So it's just denial?
It is a massively powerful thing.
Super denial, actually.
Because it's just like everybody's just going about their day, walking to the side like normal. And
denial of the past is a huge, huge thing in this franchise.
The mom literally watched her daughter's hair turn gray and get a cut on her arm and bring a hat out of a dream and still was like, babe, just go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Just go to sleep, honey.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't know where you got that hat, but don't worry about it.
Yeah, like, denial is massive in this.
You know what I was wondering? Let's take a walkie. Drink a movie with the Oh, shit. Anyways, it's Chalky Talkies. Which character in the movie do we think would be most likely to enjoy a Yoo-hoo?
Easy. It's Glenn. Because he has no responsibilities. He's just going to chill back, sit back with the Yoo-hoo and just be like, yo, I should be there at 12. Who cares? I got a Yoo-hoo.
I don't think so.
Uh-oh.
I think Sergeant Parker.
Which one is Sergeant Parker? Is he the one who wouldn't go get Nancy's dad?
Yes.
You know what?
That dude was so fucking laid back. Like get my dad, and he's like,
you're fine.
Nah.
I
And
love
then
how she's
breaks the
like,
window.
get my dad, you asshole.
Yeah, and he's like, I think I need to go get her dad. Like, and then just slowly turns to walk back towards. I'm like, bruh. First off, her dad specifically said, if anything weird happens at my house, let me know.
I think you're right about that. I think Sergeant Parker, but I think the character that most deserves a yoo-hoo after the end of this whole ordeal is Nancy.
Yeah, she deserves it majorly.
Also, I just want to say, I'm just going to say it. I think Nancy's a great character.
Yeah, she is the Kevin of this.
She's
French,
Kevin McAllister before Kevin McAllister was even a thing.
Yeah. What are you doing, babe? Like, what are you reading? Survival. Oh, that's kind of scaring me. I'm just really into survival. Yes.
Yeah,
that
no
is
kidding.
The appropriate answer after two of your friends have died to an entity that you have no knowledge of whatsoever. Preparing yourself.
I do love that she Home Alones her house before Home Alone was even a thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Sledgehammer over her door. I'm like, oh. Yeah. I will say that actually surprised me because I kept expecting like a cop to come up there to rush in and save her, and then back of the head sledgehammer.
No, she is a true like.
She knew they weren't going to help her.
Yeah, she knew. Like she knew that everybody in that town sucks, and that she is the only one who can take care of herself. She's awesome. I love Nancy.
Dad, in 20 minutes, come save me. Dad, will you be there? Yeah, honey, just go to sleep. Oh, you're gonna come? Yeah, he's not gonna fucking come.
He's not gonna come out there, set some traps.
Yeah.
It's predator time.
Yeah.
Dad's like, whoa, something happened. Like, no kidding. I told you to be here in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Where were you, Dad?
So speaking of Nancy, it brings me to one of my other points was that in the bathroom scene when Freddy pulls her under the water and is like trying to drown her and stuff, and then she, wakes up and gets out of the bath and, oh my God, honey, why were you yelling? Are you okay? Why did she lie to her mom? Oh, I'm fine. That's cool.
Denial. Because at that point, she still was slightly into denial, I would think.
Also, her mom was kind of dogging her about stuff, so she didn't want to seem more crazy.
And a massive drunk.
Her mom, yes. Oh my God, the parents suck in this movie. Like
they are. They're terrible.
Like
at least the dad has like a tiny redeeming quality of like, oh, I guess I should go help my screaming daughter.
Mom's just like hiding alcohol in the towels.
Her mom is a massive drunk. Glenn's parents are like the super duper, like, my kid don't want to be hanging out with them weirdos.
I'll say the mom wasn't too bad.
The mom wasn't too bad.
Yeah,
the mom was very understanding, but the dad was absolutely
the dad was like,
no nonsense.
By the way, just to make sure no one can call us, in case of an emergency, I'm going to unhang my phone. Like, that's irresponsible, dude.
Who felt bad for the mom whenever she had to walk into the blender scene?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Mom was like, oh my God!
That was a genuine, like, I would hate to walk in and see my kid's bedroom just drenched in blood.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck, that was messed up.
All right. So, Raceland, you have more talking points.
I have one more, and it's maybe something you can answer down the line if we get to more Freddy movies. So the whole thing with Freddy is that he get into your dreams and kill you in your dreams. I know for a fact that there's a Freddy versus Jason movie. How does that work?
That is, you know what? Put a pin in that, and we will probably. I think if you guys didn't hate it too much, we can revisit this franchise as. I'm
gonna tell you right now. I don't know a single dang thing about Freddy. I've never seen any, or not Freddy. Jason. Never seen.
We will have to watch some Friday the 13th movies. I think Nate's seen a couple of those.
Freddy vs. Jason and Jason X are we watched only two of those franchises I've seen.
I'm pretty sure you and I watched part 4 with.
It was Scotty.
Yeah, and Crispin Glover's dancing. Oh no, maybe it was part 3.
I don't remember.
All I heard is Crispin Glover from Back to the Future.
Okay, then it was part 4. Yes, Raceland, actually.
Because we were making fun of his dancing.
Yes.
So hard.
Oh no!
No. We have to. No, it's awesome in the worst way. But yes, we have to watch part 4 with you because Crispin Glover's in it, and I know you're a huge Back to the Future fan.
Huge fan.
And this will not disappoint. That character will not.
No, he's so great in it. He's so great.
It felt like watching his character from Back to the Future in a slasher film.
But no. Wait, is this? You said this is Jason 4 or whatever?
Yes.
So, do you need to know the other 3?
Unfortunately, probably, yeah. It'll be a while before we get to Freddy versus Jason, and we're not going to do it all at once because that's not how this show is. But we'll get there. You know,
we still need to watch Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, we do. We'll probably do that week that Raceland's busy. You and I will do that one on our own.
Okay.
And okay, so Nate, do you have more talking points?
Well, I don't really have a talking point. It's more just my only negative thing about this film.
Yeah, what's your only negative thing?
Only negative.
And this is probably due to my age, like my hearing is going out or whatnot. But one of the things I hate in a lot of movies and shows is when they have the music, the background music, louder than the actual movie. And there are a lot of times in this film where, especially early on in the film, where like one specific scene comes into mind. Tina's just had sex with Rod and wakes up hearing, I guess, a noise. I didn't hear the noise because all I heard was music. And then she like looks around, settles back down, and then again shoots back up as if she heard something. I'm just like, yeah, it's music. What, like, isn't your radio going on or whatever? And then she goes to the window and I see something bounce off the window. Still don't hear it.
Did they explain that part? Was that part of a dream?
Yeah, I think that was part of her dream. But still, like, a lot of the sound effects that were supposed to, I guess, create tension or like, tension for this scene didn't come across for me because I just heard the music and it kind of messed with me a little.
Also, I was not expecting Freddy's claws, blades, things to sound like that. I was expecting like a realistic, like, not like a little tiny sound effect for
just
the blades. Man. Yeah, I was just like, I'm expecting.
We're not going to talk about just the tip, Nate.
I was expecting full on, like, slashing into the walls kind of thing, like a hook.
And you know what? I really like is when they're all staying over at Tina's house and Nancy's asleep. That effect where Freddy is like coming through the wall.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Super cool.
And it's nice to see because I've seen that. I saw that in one of the scary movies they did it with. There was a YouTube video that did a similar effect. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to see where that effect originated.
Nate, do you remember high school?
Barely.
Do you remember like the drum line and like the routines they used to do? They had one that was a nightmare thing, and they did the same, like people coming through the
effect. Yeah.
That's what that always reminds me of, even though it's from A Nightmare on Elm Street, but it always makes me think of the drum line from high school.
Okay.
Don't know what you're talking about.
No, because you didn't go to the same school as us.
Yeah.
I met you guys later on in life.
Yeah. Much later on. Anyway.
So much, yeah. We're old.
So you want to get to the ratings?
I'm trying to think of whether I have any more talking points. Well, you know what? Okay, so this movie was made for about $1.1 million. It made
that's really cheap.
It made $57 million at the box office.
Yeah, this was a
profit.
Hit.
Is this
80s, 84 numbers here we're talking about?
These are 1980. Yeah, this is not adjusted for inflation. I'm sure if you did that, it'd be, oh my goodness. But
because isn't this considered like a cult classic at this point?
I'd say I wouldn't even call it a cult classic. It's just a classic at this point.
Yeah, I'm sure it's made a lot more money since 1984.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone like shit on this film or franchise ever.
No, not really.
Except for the remake.
Well, the remake, yeah.
That's the only time.
Which brings me to my next thing is that actually, it was met with, even at the time, it was met with rave critical reviews, and it was considered to be one of the greatest horror films ever made, spawning a franchise of 6 sequels. But, okay, so it's interesting. So the Nightmare on Elm Street films, there are 6 of them. And then in the 90s, Wes Craven came back, because he only directed the first one. In the 90s, Wes Craven came back with Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which is its own thing. It is a Freddy movie, but I don't want to talk about it too much because it's a very meta movie. I know we all love that word.
I do love meta.
And then, of course, there was a remake in 2010. It's not very good, which is
the only one I've seen.
Because you know who plays Freddy Krueger in that movie? It's Jackie Earle Haley. Rorschach from Watchmen.
Oh,
really?
Okay, yeah. Dang. I can see that.
No, he's a great actor, but it's not written well and it's not directed well, and I don't think they let him.
They utilize him well?
No, they don't utilize him well at all.
So you said there's like 6 sequels. Would the remake in 2010 be the worst rated one?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Well,
usually by like movie 6, usually that's pretty low on ratings.
Well, Freddy's Dead is not great, but I love it. But I think generally the fans consider that the remake is the worst one.
Hey. So I got a question for you, Ty.
Sure.
Would you say that Nightmare on Elm Street, anything with Freddy, is your favorite horror franchise?
Unfortunately, no. I am a Halloween fan. I love Michael Myers, and it's and I can't explain it because there are way better movies in Nightmare on Elm Street franchise than there are in the Halloween franchise. I think that the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are way more consistent as far as the quality goes, but there's just something about Michael Myers that I can't shake. But
it's the Star Trek aspect.
It must be the Star Trek. Wait, what?
Captain James T. Kirk.
Oh yeah, because it's the Kirk mask. Yeah. But I love the Elm Street movies. I think they're great. I think if I were to have to rank them, I'd put Halloween at the top for stupid reasons. I'd put Elm Street at the second for good reasons.
And you're talking about full-on franchises?
Yeah, and then Friday the 13th is great also, but those are all just dumb fun.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know anything about Jason, so I think the only thing I know about Jason is what Nate's told me.
Yeah.
And Nate doesn't seem like he knows that much about Jason either.
The only things I know about Jason are the comic books I've read where he's in them. Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason.
I know a lake is involved, and he uses a machete.
And sometimes
he
space.
uses a machete.
And the numerous parodies that have been made based off Jason.
So, I feel like it's interesting we haven't talked about this yet, and we're this deep into the podcast. What did we all think of Robert Englund?
Who's that?
He played Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger.
Oh, okay.
He's okay. Like, because I've only ever known him as Freddy, and then like I've seen him pop up in a bunch of other stuff, but they always kind of milk the fact that he was Freddy Krueger, no matter what he's in. One of my favorite ones was in the show Bones. He was a janitor at a high school where Bones went, and he encouraged her to follow her like dream of becoming a forensic person of dead people and all that. And I'm like, of course it didn't, but they played on it, him being like the janitor in the boiler room, being the creepy guy that everybody's freaking out about. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. He played Freddy. Come on, do something else with him. So it almost feels like media uses him as a one-trick pony.
Well, unfortunately, it's gotten to that point where there is no Freddy Krueger without Robert Englund. He is Freddy Krueger.
I
Okay.
think that's the first thing I've ever seen him in.
And to the point that it doesn't really matter whether Jackie Earle Haley would have had a good script or not. He's not Freddy. I'm sorry. It's not like a James Bond situation. Robert Englund, and you don't see it as much in this movie, but especially as the sequels go on, he has poured so much personality into Freddy Krueger that I could not see anybody else playing him.
It's kind of like
Is the actor still alive?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, to that point, the reason I picked this movie is because Robert Englund is in the latest season of Stranger Things.
Oh,
and
another franchise I've never watched.
And this season of Stranger Things is heavily inspired by A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Is Freddy going to make an appearance?
No, Freddy's not, but they do have a heavily make-upped antagonist that kills people, not necessarily in their dreams, but in similar ways.
Gotcha.
So, one of the things I didn't know is that he actually wasn't the original person they had picked to play Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
It was David Warner.
Oh, David Warner from Tron and Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. I actually knew that too, yeah. I can't imagine him as Freddy, though. I love David Warner.
I don't know who that is.
Usually I see him play like a more sophisticated, like he'll throw some comedy into it, but it's more dry comedy.
Have you ever seen Tron, Raceland?
The original Tron? No.
But you've played Kingdom Hearts 2.
I play Kingdom Hearts.
So the bad guy from Tron was voiced by David Warner.
About the big face?
The big face and the little red guy. They're both voiced by David Warner.
Okay.
Yeah. Master Control Program.
That guy was supposed to be Freddy.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like it would go well.
Well, I would love to visit an alternate universe where that happened, but I'm glad that it's what we got.
Like the Last Action Hero, where they switched Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone for the Terminator.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
That'd be so weird.
So awful, yeah. All right, well, I think we've covered just about everything we can. Let's get to the ratings. And we're going to start with Nate.
I would say I would give it a solid 3.5.
Yoo-hoos?
Are we talking out of 5?
Out of 5. That's how we do things. Out of 5 yoo-hoos.
3.5, because it wasn't a bad movie. And the only negative thing I could think about was that I couldn't hear certain sound effects. That's about it. Everything else, it was a slasher film. It was from the 80s, so I'm not going to expect too much out of it. It was a decent film. I liked it.
Raceland.
All right. So as I stated, not my genre. Don't care for this genre. I'm going to give it, out of 5 yoo-hoos, a 2 out of 5 yoo-hoos. Only the main reason why, for what it was, I mean, being an old film, it's all right, but I was bored most of the movie. I was just kind of bored because, like I said, it was predictable. You knew it was going to happen, except for the only things that were unpredictable were, is this the dream or is this reality kind of thing? But other than that, that guy's going to die. Oh, she's going to die. Oh, he's going to die.
So what did you give it? I'm sorry.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5, and you gave it a 3.5?
Yeah.
I'm going to give this movie 5 out of 5 yoo-hoos. Now, Raceland,
who didn't see that coming?
You were interrupting me again. Is this like a bit that you have to do it every week now?
No, it's just my personality.
I'm just
going to say, surprised you didn't give it 5 Freddy fingers out of 5.
I don't want to think about Freddy's fingers. I do give it 5 yoo-hoos out of 5. I think this movie is not just your typical slasher. I think it's pretty important. I think it's well written. I think it's well acted, and it's pretty I would say it's pretty important because this was like New Line Cinema's like one of their first biggest hits. So we almost into the fact that, as in our Discord, Michael pointed out that New Line Cinema is actually referred to as the house that Freddy built. So you can thank Freddy for, like, Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Yeah.
They
made a lot of money off that movie, which allowed them to make more movies.
Okay. I
Oh,
I could see that actually.
And before I forget, this movie absolutely understands the assignment.
That's true.
Okay.
All right, review over.
It does. Yeah, I would say it does a really good job.
Like, I could definitely see why you like it, Ty. I could definitely see why you like it. It's just, for me, the reason why I gave it a 2 out of 5 is just not my genre. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So, we welcome all comments. If you want to comment, you can down in the comments section on YouTube or by emailing us at whatsplayingtonight@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at tonightplaying. There's also a link to the Discord down in the description. And we also have a Facebook group now that you can find by searching for What's Playing Tonight on Facebook. We didn't get too many comments. I mentioned the one from Michael in our Discord. And we also had some feedback from Soul Food Man about Raceland's mic, which we have addressed.
Hopefully I sound better.
I talked to Mario in our Discord, and he said that he thought the movie would be like a perfect date night movie, which is funny that Raceland, you said you went and took your then girlfriend, future wife, to the remake because I guess it is kind of a perfect date movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Girls get scared, they gotta grab the guy kind of thing.
Yeah.
The old trope. The old trope.
I actually believe that you were probably grabbing onto her because you were scared.
Maybe. Don't remember. That was like 12 years ago.
That's why he doesn't remember.
So we've reached the end of the show, which means it's time to pick our next movie. Each episode, one of us is at the mercy of the other. Since I picked this movie, it's Raceland's turn. What are we watching? Right.
Well, we're going to take a complete hard right turn from horror and go straight into comedy. We are going to watch the movie called Where's the Money? Came out in 2017. Now,
Where's the problem with...
Yes, it stars... a lot of people know him. He started out in Vine. King Batch, also known as Andrew Batchelor. It also has Terry Crews in it. He's pretty funny. And the problem with this movie, though, unfortunately, is there's only select places to watch it. One of them is for free app called Plex. You can watch it on Plex. I know, Ty, you use Plex.
Yeah.
Problem is, though, it does have ads, unfortunately.
It's all right.
But the other place you can find it is if you have a Stars subscription, it is on Stars. For me, though, I don't like ads. I love this movie, so I purchased it on Amazon, and it's only $7.99 if you want to go that route.
What is this movie called again?
Where's the Money?
It is also free on Tubi.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Love Tubi. Where's the Money? And this is starring someone from Vine.
Yep.
All
he's
right.
also now breaking out on Netflix. Like he's in The Babysitter.
I know who this guy is.
Yeah. As soon as you see who he is, you know exactly who he is.
Oh, Logan Paul's in this movie too.
That is one of the downsides. Is Logan Paul is in this movie, but he doesn't have a big role.
Nate, we can make an executive decision right here. Do you want to fire Raceland from the show?
Well, come on, man.
No.
All right. Well, then we will be watching Where's the Money next week.
Come on, you guys picked like 1950s The Bat before I joined up.
The Bat was a mistake.
I like The Bat. It was just a boring movie.
Yeah. But you like boring movies like Army of the Dead.
I get to pick movies that no one's really watched. Come on.
All right, fair enough.
That's fine.
Fuck the algorithm, I guess. Anyway,
Perfectly logical.
Final thoughts or final words. Do you have any last words, Raceland?
Be careful when you sleep. I don't know.
Okay, no, I like that. Nate, do you have any last words?
I like to survive, and hopefully so do you.
You're really freaking me out.
You're really freaking me out, man. And I'm thinking 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock the door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again. And I think that says it all.
Does that mean just staying awake like Nancy did?
Anyway, we have been What's Playing Tonight, and we will see you next week with Where's the Money?
Where's the Money?
Where's the money? Bye.